Well, hey, welcome back to the Wake Coaching Podcast. I'm Jeff. That's Allie. We're so glad you're here with us today. And so today, we're going to talk about what it means to be a
good husband.
Woo. And so I just saw this on Instagram. I'd love to say he's my good friend. I think one day he will be. His name's Sean Ryan Podcast. It's right up there. One of the best in the world. He's a former Navy SEAL. I actually love this guy. I love watching his content. But he wrote this on Instagram. He says, you have one shot to raise good kids and be a good husband. You have one shot to raise good kids and be a good husband. Right? That seems pretty high stakes and ominous, right?
Yeah, we don't know how to raise good kids. So we thought we'd talk about being a good husband.
Once we figure out the kids thing in 20 years, we'll tell you about it, all right? We'll let you know.
I mean, we feel like we know some things, but we have to see how they turn out.
Yeah, we do. We do. Full disclosure, we did drive past a school today that was a military academy. And I said, hey, based upon how one of our kids, he shall remain unnamed. There's 6 options there, shall remain unnamed. But like based upon the start of the year, he might not go to the military academy as soon as we thought. So just saying that about parenting, like we may have a child that is raised at a military academy. But anyways, back to what it means to be a good husband.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? This is an interesting conversation because I feel like this is like, well, Jeff does it like this. And I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm like, is this good or is this bad? This is kind of interesting. Oh my gosh. So how to be a good husband. What are your thoughts, Allie?
Okay.
You go first.
I would love for you to actually start with a biblical perspective, because I think like too much of our world, our society is making people happy rather than like being in the right order or like doing the right things, like doing things that are healthy rather than, what feels good, what's comfortable. I'm not really interested in like the world's definition of what a good husband does. Does he take you out on date night? Like, I think that is probably one of the things, but like from a biblical perspective, like how might you define what a good husband is, Pastor Jeff?
Wow. You're calling me pastor. Like this is getting intense. So I was a pastor for like 25 years. And so I still know a few things about the Bible. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to this is in Ephesians. I'm trying to find where in Ephesians, but you've maybe heard the part where it says, this is the fun thing I say to Allie all the time, where it says, submit woman.
Yeah, that is fun. I love it.
You love that. She just rolls her eyes and then does her own thing anyways. And so, but it says like wives submit to your husbands as to the Lord. And a lot of preachers stop right there and they're like, wives, you better submit. And then that's just, if you're ever in a church and someone's like, wives, you better submit. Like, can I just give you the free reign to leave? Like just get up and walk out at that point, because that is so off base. Because the next step is this, like submit to your husband.
That's all they say.
If that's all they say, if they stop there.
If that's all they say, you can walk out.
Get out. The next, but what follows gives it greater context, because it talks about wives submit to your husbands as the church does to Christ. And the idea of this whole, like Christ literally gives up himself for the bride, the washing of the bride, the cleansing of the bride. And I look at that and I'm like, okay, so for wives, the command is submission, right? But for men, the command is service to the point of denying, like giving up your life for your wife. And so you're like, okay, what does that mean? I'm supposed to die for my wife? Most of us will never be in a space. Heck yeah. Wow. She's after, mark my words, she's after my life insurance money.
Oh my word.
Heck yeah. Like you've been woo, like that. But honestly, like the idea, like most of us will never be in a space where I'm going to give up my physical life, like life or death situation where I have to lay down my life to save yours.
Yeah.
That's generally not where we live. That's generally not the case. But there are things on a daily basis that I'm like, okay, what am I giving up on a daily basis to serve my wife? What am I denying in myself to serve my wife? And I think that's the bigger key, right? And I think sometimes like there's men like, well, my wife doesn't submit to me. And my question to that man is, well, are you worthy to be submitted to? Like,
Yeah.
no one likes to ask that question, right? I'd rather complain about how my wife is strong-willed and doesn't listen and all these things. I'm like, okay, she might be strong-willed. That's fantastic. But are you living a life that is such that that woman who is strong-willed and has a mind of her own is willing to submit to your leadership? Because that is the true sign of leadership in manhood. It's not you imposing yourself upon her. It's her choosing to follow you of her own volition and free will. That right there, that's the idea of submission. It's not like I'm better than you, I'm smarter than you, I'm stronger than you. It's none of that. That's not it. Submission is me willingly choosing to submit to your authority in my life, because that is the form of alignment that God created marriage. It's God, and then it's man, and then it's wife. That's how it started in the garden. God created Adam first. From Adam was Eve, woman, man, woman. That whole idea, that's how God created it. That's what he intended the alignment to be. And so if your marriage is like, oh, our marriage is off, check the alignment. Well, my wife won't submit. Okay, are you worthy of being submitted to?
That's what I would ask, because there's just so many men that are really passive and they're kind of checked out. They're like big boys. Like they're still just watching sports or going and playing golf or going hunting, or they're really focused on maybe providing for the family, maybe work.
Maybe.
But then a lot of it is pastimes. I feel like men really leading their family, showing up in other places in life besides providing for the family. Because I feel like pretty common, like men want to provide, but showing up in these other places and really being present, really leading when it comes to like what's going on in our kids' hearts. What do they need? Our kids wigged out. What does he actually need? Like really being attuned and present. I feel like it's rare to see fathers that are engaged and don't just completely like delegate that to the woman. And I don't look at that as true leadership. If you're the leader of your home, you're caring for everything that's going on within your home.
I'm probably going to step on some toes here, but I'm going for it. I think sometimes dads will live vicariously through their kids, or they'll try to relive their glory years through their kids, whether that be through youth sports, whether that be through hunting, fishing, whatever that might be. And it's almost like, well, I got the kids. I'm going to go coach the kids' football team or whatever it is. Like, that's great if that's like, hey, my kid is passionate about football and there's a legit chance they might make the league. I know every parent thinks their kid's going to make the league. They're not. It's one of those things where like, okay, this is something my kid is passionate about. This is a way that we connect over. And it's really about my kid, not about me. That's great. Frame it up that way. If that is the true intention, not you being like, all right, babe, you got the house. I got to do my man stuff with my boy. And I'm sorry if I sound redneck. I don't mean to. But if it's really just an excuse to get out of the house and continue to do boy things as a full-grown man, that's not okay. You are sloughing on your responsibilities. You're being passive rather than assertive in your masculinity.
So let's talk about that idea of like being worthy of being followed. What would be some indicators that you are somebody worthy of being followed? What would you look for?
If you're struggling because you feel like your wife isn't following you, think about this. The first person you lead is you. If you're not leading yourself well, if you're not living a disciplined life and doing what you know needs to be done well, would you follow you? That's a hard question. Like when you literally look in the mirror and said, would I follow Jeff Wendt as a leader? Like would I call him leader and would I submit to his authority? Like that's kind of an eye-opening question. Like
essentially so even, put my life in your hands.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Asking yourself, okay, would I follow me? And why not? Well, you're kind of lazy and you're kind of honestly, like, I'll be honest, like stewardship is one of my greatest core values. And I just have this simple belief, this simple saying, like the way you do anything is the way you do everything. I don't need to see what your spending habits are. I can just literally, I can look at your vehicle and be like, well, how well do they take care of their vehicle? If your vehicle is taken like really well care of, then I assume like based upon that, so is your bank account, so is your spending habits. So there's this thing like, okay, how you do anything is how you do everything. So with that said, I say that to say, what do you look like physically? based upon how I look physically, would I follow me?
So how am I stewarding myself?
How am I stewarding myself? How am I leading myself?
So there's this construct that you've learned from a very good friend, Ivy Marsh.
Ivy Marsh.
I am for.
I am for, yes.
Prophet, priest, warrior, and king.
That every man is uniquely designed by God to be a prophet, priest, king, and warrior.
And so if you're really looking at like leading yourself well and being somebody worthy of being followed, like those are 4 major pillars that are worth kind of bringing up.
Let's just talk about the prophet, priest, king, and warrior. And I just mentioned the idea of warrior, the idea of physically taking care of yourself. Like, think about this. If your family were in danger, say there was an armed robber, say there was a fire, are you physically fit enough to protect them? Are you physically fit enough to be an imposing force to intimidate or go after or stop someone who's injuring your family or go into the fire to get your family? Are you that? Because if you're physically in that space, great, you check that box. Like, that's the warrior component. So the prophet, priest, and king. Prophet is simply this, the idea that you are the primary Bible teacher to your family, that you are speaking on behalf of God to your family. That's like, you're not looking at the church to train your children. You're not looking at some online program to train your children. You're not looking to your wife, be like, okay, you're going to teach the kids about this. You are the primary Bible teacher in your home. That is the prophet component. Old Testament prophets, they spoke to people on behalf of God. You today speak to your family on behalf of God. And by doing that, you're like, I'm supposed to speak on behalf of God. I'll make it simple for you. Open your Bible and read it out loud. You are being a prophet to your family. Literally, that's what that looks like. So that's the prophet. The priest piece.
Can I just say, I think that particularly would be like one of the areas that we see a lack of leadership in the most, like spiritually.
Most men. Yeah.
For most men,
Yeah.
they are not leading spiritually. They're not leading their family. They're not teaching them. It may be leading them to church and then hoping everyone else does the rest, right? Which is great. Like going to church as a family is wonderful. Allowing them to be taught by other people, but not completely delegating that and never doing it on your own.
Yeah. No, and there's statistics that talk about the idea that if the dad gives his life to Christ and becomes a follower of Christ versus if the mom gives her life to Christ and becomes a follower of Christ, like if the dad does the percentage, it's like 80% of the rest of the family will follow. Yeah. But the mom, it's like maybe 8%, maybe 10 or 12%. It's much lower. So it just gives an idea of the authority that God has placed in when the man leads.
Yep.
The next one is priest. This is the concept that a priest does this. A priest serves in the house of God. What I would say is I serve in the house of God. I'm actively serving in some form or fashion to expand the church, which is God's kingdom on this earth, according to Acts chapter 2 and in the New Testament. And so that's like God's uniquely gifted me to do that. And he's actually given every single person gifts to expand his kingdom. And so I'm serving in the church. The other one is like I'm serving in God's house, but I'm also serving in my house. And that's where I just have a phrase or a thought, like no one outserves me in my house. Jesus, he had all authority in heaven and earth. And what does he do? He takes off his outer robe, he gets down on his hands and knees, and he washes feet. Like he is the creator of everything. He created everything that we know, see, and beyond. He gets on his hands and knees and he washes the dirt off the feet of the dust, the humans that he created from dust. Yeah. And it's just like, he could have done anything and he chose to serve. Yeah. And so for me, like service is like being a servant, showing up as a servant. No one outserves me in my house. And except for me. Except for you. Submit, woman. I'm just kidding. No,
it's a fun competition.
It is. It actually is. It's great. And so, but that serve piece, like that is that I serve in God's house. I serve in my house. That's the priest piece. So it's prophet, priest. The king is that every man has been given a kingdom. Every man has something that he is responsible for. And this is where stewardship comes in a big way. Going back to the idea of, how you do anything is how you do everything. My son Noah, like he's 18. He wants to buy a house one day and all these things. I'm like, okay, focus on buying a car right now. Before you'll ever manage a house well, you have to learn how to manage a car well, or your room well, or something small well. When you begin to understand that how you manage small things will determine the size of the things that you get to manage, that's when you begin to take it much more seriously with like, wow, I really need to watch how I'm stewarding small things well. And so as a king, we all have literally a kingdom, a geographical space that is, whether that's for Noah's case, it was a bedroom.
Yeah.
It might be an apartment for you. It might be a room. It might be a business. It might be whatever it might be.
Your finances, your health, your family, your kids, right? Like, yeah.
How you steward what's been entrusted to you. That's the idea of king.
Yep.
So prophet, priest, king, and warrior.
Yep.
Those are the things, if you need like pillars to focus on, those are great things to be like, okay, all right, how do I like focus on these and make sure that I'm leading well in these spaces? And then you don't have to worry about it. If you're focused on leading well in those spaces and doing your very best, and you have friends around you that are helping you get there, and you have a mentor above you who's helping you get there, you don't have to worry about your wife submitting to you, because she'll look at you and be like, oh my gosh, that is a man worth following. And I'm so grateful that I get to have him in my life.
Yes. If you don't have these pillars intact and you're not doing these bigger, more foundational aspects of like, you're not leading in those, forget date night.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be the smallest Band-Aid on the biggest bullet hole, right?
Yep. 100%.
Where you're going to have a lot of relational issues between you and your wife if you're not leading as you should be. And so I think that is really the place to start, is even like looking at those 4 things and picking out one thing you can focus on in each, right?
Yeah.
Like what's one thing that I should improve upon as a warrior, as a king, as a priest, as a prophet.
Yeah.
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 I love it.
And so even with that, like if just baseline, like for you, okay, where do I start? The prophet piece, just start reading your Bible. Literally just start reading your Bible. Start in Matthew, the New Testament, start in Matthew, go to the end, start at the beginning, start there. The priest component, just start serving. Like what's something like, I don't wash dishes because I'm a man. Well, you're an idiot. That's what you are. Start washing dishes. And then the king piece. Okay, so how about you take a budgeting class? How about you read Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey? How about you read something like that will help you steward your money better? That would be a huge way to start very practically from the king perspective. Final thing, the warrior perspective is this. Go get a membership at a gym. Go do something. Start riding your bike. Start running. Do push-ups. Like Goggins says this, like, I don't have a gym. Well, do you have a floor? Can you do push-ups? Can you do sit-ups? Can you
if I think about a warrior, it's like they're comfortable with being uncomfortable.
100%.
Right. I think that's what it is.
They embrace
like fostering, like just being comfortable with being uncomfortable physically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to do something incredibly sucky today, and I can't freaking wait.
And I'm going to like it.
And I'm going to like it. That's the warrior component. And so super simple. Guys, I hope this helped. I got pretty passionate about this. I could talk about this for
I think we'll talk about it again.
I think we should.
I think we will.
So that's the idea. My good friend Sean Ryan brought it up. You have one shot to be a good parent, a good dad, and a good husband. And hopefully today we gave you some tidbits, some pointers on how to be a good husband, right?
I think so.
Yes.
I mean, Jeff is a great one to learn from.
I paid her to say that. Hey, Weight Coaching, thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Jeff. This is Allie. If you enjoy this, I encourage you, like it, comment, share, subscribe, and share it with other friends. So thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.